All right, we'll go ahead and keep this hand as well. This is, uh, if this Soul Warden survives, this hand does things. So hopefully our opponent takes our opponent's on Infect, or Horrible Affinity Start, but likely Infect. We have all this life gain, and not a ton against an Infect opponent. Hopefully we'll draw some burn here. So our opponent actually has a very poor start. So we have that working in our favor. He's got to be, if this is a handicapped, he is almost certainly sitting on a ton of pump spells. I almost consider the Soul Warden attack there, but our hand does very little if we do attack. All right, so he's gonna Ink Moth us for some poison. Being on the play here might have helped quite a bit. We're probably just could be dead next turn. We might get 2 turns. Okay, Lightning Bolt is a good one. That's for sure. Maybe I should have played the Rugged Prey last night so we could have been live to drawing this. This is still fine though. We can create all the mana we need. Go ahead and Lightning Bolt this one down. This one we can block. Alright, let's get on in there. So this is 7, puts him to 10. I'm trying to figure out what we keep back to block next turn. Next turn I will be playing this out. So I think we get in there and we just hope that he doesn't actually one-shot us. I mean, obviously if he takes that block, he takes that block. We have big guys already, but let's see what he does here. Wild Defiance. Okay, that's fine because we're just going to kill him. They say that's fine. I assume that it's fine. I mean, I don't think we can actually kill him, but probably get close enough. This one first. Followed by the Gathering of the Townsfolk. I mean, we might be dead, just because that's what Infect does. I mean, if he has a land, sure. Unless he has another land to follow up, I don't see us dying to this. But Wild Defiance will certainly kill you very fast, because whenever they target their creatures, it gets +3/+3, so it doesn't take that much to do it. But we put him in a situation where he had to chump block with the elf, and we got there against Infect, and now we get a board in. A couple more removal spells, which is nice. I think we obviously want all the removal. The Lava Man can be pretty good. On the other hand, we don't have fetches, and Lava Man gets worse when you don't have fetch lands. So I think we're actually going to board it out here against Infect because he's not going to be doing much to our stuff. We're not going to be filling our graveyard sort of in the normal way. I'm also going to get rid of one of the heroes of Oxid Ridge on the top end. If Lava Man has gas in the graveyard, it's because we've killed several of his creatures, and we probably don't need a Lava Man another one. I think we have to keep this hand. This hand does a lot of damage very quickly to him. So, we don't have any answers, but we have a lot of answers we can draw, and we're going to have a nice fast start of our own. And that helped. I think we're going to lead with this. I think this Kythian is just going to be a curve filler here. I think we want to go Soul's Attendant into Pridemate into Gather the Townsfolk plus Kythian. Most likely, and then Thalia's Lieutenant the turn after that as our final effect to hopefully get in there. And obviously somewhere along the way, hopefully we draw a Path or a Lightning Bolt, but like that. Great. So the question is, do we think we can take a hit, or do we think he's just actually going to kill us next turn? He'd be attacking for, if he uses this to pump, it becomes 2. The Exalted makes it 3. He doesn't have enough to become immense, and even a double pump spell would get it, though. I'm just trying to figure out if we need to Helix it here, or if we can make this Pride Mate play. Obviously we kill him better if we have the Pride Mate. On the other hand, he's only shown us one Infect creature. We can try to Helix this thing down to make him burn it. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Gonna see this through before we try to sneak it in an attack. So this pumps it to a 3 toughness, which means he has to burn something else on it, which is good for us. So this slows us down a little bit if this is his only Infect creature. He either burns pump spells on it or the creature goes away, either of which are good for us. All right, as expected. Yeah, and he's going to go ahead and fetch to keep it alive. Great. I mean, heck, we dealt him 3 damage this turn by shooting this thing. I accept. It is much less likely we'll die now, although still possible. Yep. Very big. Not blocking this turn. Gather the Townsfolk does provide a nice amount of blockers. Okay, well, that's bad. This probably killed us. I mean, this is basically unbeatable. So this is sort of like Invisible Soccer. I just wish this card didn't exist. It's not to the level of Invisible Soccer, but it's the absolute farthest thing from Healthy Magic you can get. Which is funny to say about a 1/1, but just things that cannot be interacted with very well. Alright, so let's see what we can do. I think it might be Soul Warden into Pride Mate just to have a big guy. It might be it might just be Kithian and Gather the Townsfolk. And we try to get in for them. Yeah, I guess it's that. The most damage is us playing Kithian and Gather the Townsfolk. Then to be able to play Thalia's Lieutenant next turn. Our opponent's hand's going to have a lot of nothing for us to survive. And I mean actual nothing, because any pump spell means we're dead in 2 turns, which is before we can kill him. Unless we find a removal spell next turn. Now we could play, what happens if instead we play the Pride Mate here? Nothing, yeah, like our original plan. This gets a lot of things pumped next turn when we have the Lieutenant. Yeah, we do get to get in there this turn. Unfortunately, it won't be 14. It is currently 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll add 4 to that. 5, it becomes 9. So if he fetched and dealt himself damage and we drew Lightning Bolt, we'd have lethal, but I think we're just dead. Yep. So you have the Become Immense. He had the Vines of the Vastwood. Yeah, I felt like we played Magic that game. That was fun. Let's try again. Gonna go on the play here. Maybe on the play, Lava Man's a little better. Maybe we can cut one of the Soul Sister effects because the game's just not going to go that long. And we have all the Lightning Helixes in now as well to help with the Pride Mates. So, all right, let's go first. Show me. I don't know. This is actually a very interesting hand. It has very little pressure, but it has double removal spell. I think we're going to keep the double removal spell. Who knows? Maybe we'll activate Needle Spires this game, but. Also, depending on our opponent, it doesn't take too much to make this hand great. That's fine. Yes. Okay, well, that was about the worst thing we could draw. I think that I'm trying to figure out if there's an advantage to, using this double path. Maybe we get 2 spells out of him. I don't necessarily want to path right away, and because we have the double path, I think we're going to do this. I mean, he had Sapindlehide and Glistener Elf. That's pretty good on his part. I don't know. Maybe I should have mulliganed it. 2 removal spells has the potential to blow him out quite hard. And maybe I should have just burned it on my upkeep. I'm not sure. I mean, this is a little greedy, but it also has the possibility of getting him if he goes for the Pendlehaven Pump and goes for another spell. Now, we can try to path it now, and if he responds with the Vines, we can path it again, which, unfortunately burns both of our cards, but it leaves us taking no Infect. That's fine, I think. It also forces him to fetch awkwardly, which will deal himself some damage. Alternatively, I could just take it, but there's no way we lose. Like, there's nothing that makes us not be able to path this thing this turn, which is the only reason I didn't just main phase it away in the first place. Okay, well. Okay, then. Maybe we should have boarded out a land. Maybe we should have gone down to 19 since we boarded out some of the top end. I mean, regardless of your 6 land is fairly unrealistic, and I'm aware what we kept. We kept a 4-lander, but... Okay. I'm going to wait till my main phase to do this so we can play around Spell Pierce. Well, hopefully this works. I guess next turn we get to get in there for 4, 5, 6, 7. Flip our Kythian. Yep. Okay. Or we'll just be dead. It's certainly one of those. I guess we get in here. If he was to burn a pump spell to block us, that's good for us, but it seems unlikely. Again, I think we're probably just dead, but... So this is 2. Conveniently, 2 Might of Old Crosas gets us. Well, that doesn't necessarily get us. It does buy him another turn. We're going to have to draw another removal spell, I think. Good sequencing, I guess, on his part to lead with the Listener Elf and protect the Blighted Agent, since we can block the Listener Elf and not this one. Or he ripped it off the top. It's one of those two, but we'll see. It does seem he's down to 3 cards. If we can find a removal spell. Oh, so he had the Might of Old Krosa, but did not do that first. Sure. So this makes it a 2, this makes it a 3. If he doesn't have another pump spell in hand, I guess we play the Pride Mate. Is that better than flipping this? No, so we can... Okay. We can activate Needle Spires, slam him with all 3, flip this, and force this to attack Gideon. I guess that's the play. It doesn't feel great, but it protects from dying next turn, and it's, not like... I mean, attacking's a good thing. I guess the downside of this is he just blocks with the Dryad Arbor. But in that case, I don't think it's much different. I mean, there's actually some sort of upside here. If he messes up. I mean, if we just play this, we're dead anyways, right? I mean, so... I guess, sure. I don't know. I mean, that was probably wrong on my part. I'm just not sure that playing this is any different. If he had the kill, he had the kill. Which he clearly did. So we're just dead there no matter what we do. I mean, basically our only out. And we operate on... it's our only out because we're operating on the assumption that he has nothing in hand and is gonna mess up, you know. And when he had 3 cards, I found it very unlikely in the way the game played out that he didn't have anything. So I assume we were dead unless we flipped Gideon. And I mean, the odds of him letting us flip Gideon are low, but the odds of him having nothing, I think, are just as equally low. So that's the play we went for. Regardless, we are dead. So good game.